My neighbor Nikolai is a rather sociable person. He has a wife and daughter. Each time we met for several minutes we chatted about our male affairs. A cheerful person, always smiles, nice to communicate with him. I always thought that neighbors should live together. I have never seen Kolya swearing with someone. Yes, and quarrels and scandals never came from his apartment. But a month ago I heard that they and my wife are not all right. During the week, daily quarrels were heard. Moreover, his wife always screamed, the Kalina voice was almost not heard. I realized that a serious conflict has broken between them. After a week, everything died down. For 3 weeks I have not met Kolya, although before we often came across in the entrance or on the street. And then I meet Kolya in front of the house. Great, neighbor. I have not seen you for a long time. How is life? How are you? What's new? I asked him. Kolya quietly greeted me. And then I noticed that my neighbor is not like myself. He haggard, lost weight, bruises under his eyes. Yes, and some kind of gaze. I was very surprised. What happened? Are you sick or what? Or what was it? I began to pry with him. Kolya only looked at me sadly and said, "Are you busy? I'll tell you something." And he told me his story. Kolya really had trouble. His wife threw him, took the child with her and went to her parents in the village. And now I filed for divorce. I really heard their quarrels behind a wall. I thought she found another man. But the truth was quite unusual. It turns out that Kolya still has a child. And the wife did not know about it. Why she rummaged in his papers is incomprehensible. But she found a document obliging Kolya to pay alimony up to 18 years of Sasha. And his wife arranged a showdown to him because, living with him for 7 years, she did not know about the existence of another child. Their child. You see, it was a long time ago, even before meeting with his wife. One girl and I met in his youth, loved each other. She became pregnant, it was a surprise to us, we planned to get married first. But they'd ordered otherwise. When she told me about pregnancy, I immediately wanted to marry her. But a strange thing happened, she refused to marry me. She said that she did not like. Kolya closed his eyes, plunged into sad memories. But I loved her. I insisted that we get married, for the sake of the child. She did not agree. Then I begged her, so that she would not get rid of the child. But, strangely, she was going to leave the child. And so it happened that we parted with her. She took out the child, gave birth. By general agreement, I was recorded by the father. And since then I have been paying child support. We did not communicate with her anymore. She did not allow me to communicate with the child. Kate, I understand that I could solve this problem through the court. But I did not. I don't know why, but I didn't want to. Here's things, this is a story, I said, not knowing what else to say. But Kolya did not need an interlocutor. He just wanted to speak out to someone. And he continued, looking to the side, so many years have passed, I have already come to terms with the fact that I could not see my son. Therefore, I did not talk about this wife. Why should she have unnecessary experiences? But then she finds this letter. And I gave me a scandal. Like, why didn't I tell her anything, and how I couldn't alike? And then she even invented that I constantly see my son and the former, I just don't talk about it. I made up so much, and I could not justify myself. She didn't even want to listen to anything. Kolya fell silent. And I looked at him bewildered. A month ago it was a completely different person. And now he is killed by grief and anxiety. The best motives, sometimes, cause us such blows of fate, which alone is hard to bear. My neighbor could no longer suffer in silence, so he told me his misfortune. And I did not know how to help him. You know. Don't be upset, maybe everything will work out. The wife will forgive you, he will return. And everything will be good with you. I understood that I was saying meaningless and duty phrases without helping him, but I did not know what else to say. Kolya, hearing my words, somehow immediately wilted and squeezed his lips. He simply nodded, but his thoughts were already somewhere far away. I realized that the minutes of revelations passed, and more Kolya would not be so frank with me. I wanted to do something to cheer him up, but Kolya was already going into the porch. I sat on a bench and began to think about how strangers and misfortunes are alien to us. If such a situation happened to me, I would also probably look for comfort and support.